Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Go check out my website at skyazrael.com for coaching and mentoring. Let's talk about turning problems into our powers. Turning a problem into a power. It's not easy. You have to master it yourself. You have to master yourself. Master your problem, so it doesn't rule you anymore. And you can use that problem, what was once a problem, you could extract the lesson out of it. Extract that, redirect that energy into something positive, into something powerful. Turning your problems into your powers. This is a level after post-traumatic stress. You can manage your triggers. I can help you figure out a way to get to a point with lifestyle management, like I've done, to manage your triggers if PTSD is torturing you. You can be functional. You don't have to self-isolate and to be tortured by your triggers. And the longer you go managing them, the more you reprogram your brain out of them. But they may always be there if you don't really get in and do the work that's necessary. Some people have been avoiding trying to heal themselves with PTSD. There's many ways that you can do it. One of the ways that I promote in the book that I just wrote, The Art of Survival, Building Straight Through Suffering, which is a proven, been around 20 years now or more, but proven to work, is EMDR. EMDR. I forget what the fucking letters stand for. Works. It works. And it's weird. It's hard to explain. You say, what is it? Go look into it. It's weird. You can watch videos about it, and like scientists who are the top of the fucking game will tell you it's some weird shit, but it works. It's non-invasive. You don't take no fucking drugs. I did that shit. It worked for me. I should be dead right now. But I didn't just stop at managing my triggers. I got to a level to where I could turn what used to be a huge problem, this trauma that I've been through, and instead of just manage it, which gets me to a baseline, a 0 point, where I can feel like, okay, I guess I'm kind of better now, I can kind of function now, to use that as a power. It's made me stronger. It's hard to say sometimes, but I'm thankful that I went through what I went through. Even though it fucked me up. It sent me through the valley of the shadow of death, but I survived it. I got through it. And instead of just running off, when you get through something like that, you have a choice. You can run off and pat yourself on the back and say, whoa, man, that was crazy. Or you could stop. Turn back and say, you know what, I'm powerful to defeat this. I just defeated this hurdle. I just got over that wall. I just defeated this obstacle. I can help others. I'm not scared of this anymore. I can help others around this. I can help anybody who was where I was. I can help you around it. That's that level of turning your problem into a power. And I'm trying to do this in my life right now. Here's an example if you don't really kind of get it. I've always been a fighter. A lot of reasons why. I've had a hard life from the age of 10 years old or earlier. From the time I was popped out, it's been a struggle. I wasn't born in a hospital. There were no doctors when I was born. I was born in a house with just a bunch of stoned hippies around. Right? That shit is fucked up. You want to be born, every one of you watching every one of you was born in a hospital with a doctor there making sure that everything's okay. Wasn't nobody there to make sure that we were okay. From the time I was spit out, it was hard. Homeless, we were homeless. I was born homeless. I went through abuse. My dad was a psychopath, an actual psychopath. Like real deal Charles Manson type of shit. I watched an interview one time. It was a parole hearing of Charles Manson. Of course, he was denied. He would go up for him every once in a while and rant on his craziness, and he'd just be denied. But they would show him on TV, at least they used to. This was years ago. It was after my dad had gotten murdered, and I watched this fucking hearing with Charles Manson, and it was so weird. It almost made me cry. Because it was like watching an interview with my dad. It was the same type of craziness. He was a psychopath. I could go on and on talking about the various reasons of why I think I ended up a particularly violent person, an aggressive person, someone who liked to fight physically, someone who was just combative and disagreeable, generally speaking, liked to argue. I took debate classes in college when I went to college. I mean, I went to college later in life. I didn't go at 18 or whatever you're supposed to go. I went at 30. But I took debate classes. It's just, I've always liked that kind of thing. I'm a fighter. And what I've noticed my whole life, particularly when it would be physical fights, when violence was called for, lots of other people around me, close friends, family sometimes, would get this glassy kind of gleam in their eye, watching me. What's he gonna do next? Motherfuckers would get so geeked off of my violence. What's Sky gonna do? If shit was gonna pop off, if they needed somebody to click, clack up and go crazy, I'd be the guy. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Just waiting, loving it. And it's not that I would perform for people, but you kind of fall into a role. It kind of felt like this was my thing. I'm the super aggressive one. I'm the guy who gets in fights. I'm the guy that's gonna snap your head off. And when I would get riled up in a conversation, my homeboys around me, they'd get that look, and I'd see it, and I'd have to calm myself down, because I realized, okay, I don't need people pushing me down a hill, because I can snowball. They talk about this, I think it's in Dante's Inferno, other different descriptions of hell. Hell has no bottom. It's a bottomless abyss. It's because you can never find the depths of evil. Whatever you think is as evil and crazy as you can get, oh, there's a whole nother level of it. There's no bottom that you'll reach. And it's felt like to me that a lot of people around me were trying to push me down that hill, over that cliff. Weak people, sure, weak people. But even strong people. I've been around some real tough guys, killers. And I don't say that metaphorically. And even those types, I see that look in their eye when I get mad. They love it. And they're just like waiting. And I've philosophized on this. It's like motherfuckers want to follow an aggressive warrior into battle. They need that type of Braveheart moment where the guy's in front of the troops and he's going berserk with his face painted and he's just like, yeah! And everybody is just like, yeah! Okay, because we couldn't do this without you. It's been weird to feel like people have pushed me into that position, and I have never known what to do with it. I've always been too immature and too crazy and too weak-minded to know what to do with this strength, with this power. It's been a problem. I've complained about this to psychiatrists. I'm too aggressive. I go crazy. I had one guy tell me, a psychiatrist, a guy I really respect. I still talk to him. He pretty much saved my life. He's got a crazy story himself. I'm not going to put it out there, but it's kind of why I respected him, because he wasn't just some nerd. This guy had been through it. Anything I had ever done, he'd done it 100 times. And he told me straight out one day, he was just like, you know, there's a lot of guys out there that fantasize, that dream. They sit in that chair that you're sitting in and cry about how they're not tough enough, they're not strong enough. They let people walk all over them. They can't rise to battle. You're the exact opposite, complaining about the exact opposite. He's like, You should be thankful. This is a power. You just have to learn how to master it. Sure, you got a monster in you. You're a terrible monster, but you learn how to master that motherfucking monster, and you become a general. You become the type of leader that everybody's looking for. But you have to learn how to hold your shield and hold your sword properly. You need to know how to use your weapons properly. Your mind is your weapon. Your mouth is your weapon. These are all your powers. This fearlessness, this self-destructiveness that I used to have of I don't care about me, I don't care about my teeth, I don't care about broken ribs, I don't care about scars, I don't care about prison, I don't care about death. I don't care about being left alone and the only guy who thinks he's right and everybody thinks I'm wrong. That kind of shit. You learn how to master that. And you can direct that into a realm of positivity. I don't know if anybody gets what I'm talking about. I'm just using an example that I can relate to try to help explain this about turning problems into powers. You can talk about anything. It doesn't have to be fighting. That's just something that I work on, but this food for thought. I hope one person out there gets what I'm talking about. If I got one motherfucker that understood this video, I did my job for today.